Hey guys, it's Ornlu, and oh man, it is finally upon us after all of the teasing. We finally have our new AOE2 DE expansion, DLC, whatever you want to call it, the Dynasties of India. People have been clamoring about having India represented by more than just one civilization for such a long time, and now it is finally going to be here on April 28th of 2022, this year, obviously. So that is in 14 days from when I am recording this, and this has literally just been announced. So this is really exciting. We got 3 new civilizations, and it's really more like 3.5, because the existing Indian civilization is still there. It's just been reworked. And in this video, I'm going to cover all 3 of the new civilizations. We get their bonuses, and we get their frickin' tech trees, man. In a very slow loading format, but still, you get their tech trees. So we're going to go through this, each of the new civilizations. First, we can go ahead and watch the trailer.
3 new civilizations. The Bengalis, the Dravidians, the Gurjaras. Got some chariots, we got some armored elephants. There's gonna be elephants for days, guys.
Has been an adventure. And it all began in Transoxiana,
Got Babur.
the melting pot of Persian high culture and nomadic traditions.
I guess that's the Gurjaras.
I tell of warriors and weapons, faith and fury. The greatest ruler of the Pala dynasty, Devapala.
That's the Bengalis.
As a newly crowned ruler, my father took the name Raja Raja.
And that should be the Dravidians.
When I return to Tanjavur, Raja Raja will know what his son is capable of.
Oh boy, it's a unique ship. I don't have any gameplay for you guys other than this trailer just yet, but I'll of course be getting that to you guys as soon as possible. And yeah, Dynasties of India, available for pre-order. Lots of excitement, such wow. So let's get into these new civs, shall we? Because that's, I know, what you guys are excited about. So first up, we have the Bengalis. Navigate the winding rivers and dense jungles of Bengal as you build a thriving economy to fuel your unstoppable armies of elephants. The Bengali unique unit is the Ratha, a sturdy chariot that can switch between melee and ranged attack modes. The Bengalis focus on elephant and naval units. Bengali elephants, in addition to benefiting from a strong tech tree, are more resistant to anti-elephant bonus damage than those of other civs. Additionally, their attack speed can be boosted with their unique tech, which also improves Rathas. Get to that in a bit. Bengali ships regenerate HP, increasing their longevity. And I'll talk about what these implications are for, like, in real games when I go through the tech trees and whatnot. And Bengali town centers can spawn additional villagers when each age is researched, which is super good. And we get additional trade value. So, I believe we can just check out the tech tree. Maybe a little bit more close-up than completely invisible. All right, so let's look at this tech tree. Bengalis, elephant and naval civilization. They receive 25% less bonus damage, so hello Sicilians, and they're more resistant to conversion. We'll have to see just how much more resistant to conversion they are, but I imagine this is going to be really, really good for your Elephantos. However, as you can see, the Elephant Archer is now a regional unit, as opposed to the unique unit of the former Indian civilization. They get battle elephants too, and you have a new regional unit, the Siege Elephant, which replaces the Ram line. So you're going to see, I believe, all of the Indian civs with Elephant Archers at least, and Siege armored elephants. Again, we'll have to see in testing how they will compare to Rams, but it's going to be interesting regardless, and I assume that Elephant units is going to refer to all 3 of those elephant units. TCs spawn 2 additional villagers when each age is researched. This is a really good eco bonus. You know, we talk all the time about, like, okay, we have Malay who essentially get 2 villagers for free when hitting the feudal age from their faster research time. Well, hey, Bengalis, they just get the villagers. So if you go for a fast castle with this civ, say you go like 26 plus 2, like normal fast castle stuff, well, suddenly you're looking at 26 plus 6. And getting 4 extra villagers when you hit Castle Age, this is going to be a really strong civ for closed maps. And then also, they get their naval bonus. I feel like this is going to be kind of like Berbers, where they're going to be a good naval civ, but not really, I think, top tier. Like, the extra villagers and the ships regenerating HP is nice, but that's really all they have on the water other than a good dock tech tree, which I'll get to in a second. And their unique unit is the Ratha, which is that cav archer cavalry chariot that can switch between being a horse archer, chariot archer, and poking away with melee attacks. So that, I think, is going to be really, really interesting. You have pikes, Rathas, and elephant units attack 20% faster. Again, I assume that applies to LE archers, battle elephants, and the armored elephants. And it's also probably why they don't have thumb ring. And then Mahayana, villagers take up 10% less population space. So I'm not exactly sure how this is going to work out as far as the rounding goes. I think you always are going to be rounding up in terms of population. But say you have 100 villagers, I assume that means that they only take 90 pops. So you can just have more villagers in the late game. And, oh, hey, here's your team bonus. Trade units generate 10% food in addition to gold. This is a late game civ. You're going to need lots of resources to fund your armies of elephants and chariots. So this is definitely my type of civ. So let's look at their tech tree. Just when we're thinking about something like Arabia, really, you have the elephant bonus, which can be maybe useful, and then there's just the extra villagers. So you have a really strong, generally applicable eco bonus, which means that you're going to be at least competitive on Arabia. Looking at their archer tech tree, no cav archers. I don't think any of these civs have cav archers. I think they just have elephant archers. Could be wrong. This is all quite new to me as well. But you do get Parthian tactics and the potential for faster firing elephant archers. Your Arbs are fine. You have elite skirmisher, so again, that's decent. Let's just double check their blacksmith. Okay, so you have everything except plate mail armor with the Bengalis. So we have to keep that in mind with their swordsman line. No supplies, but you do get halbs, you do get champions, squires, arson, all that stuff. So you get halbs. They're not amazing, but they'll get the job done. Their swordsmen, definitely not their strong suit. Of course, they are an elephant civ. They don't have knights. Wow, I don't think any of these civs have knights, guys. You have light cav, no hussar, bloodlines husbandry, +4/+4, and then you have your elephants. So you have elite battle elephants that get a potential 20% faster attack speed, and they receive less bonus damage, and are more resistant to conversion. So this is where your power is going to come in. You just having that huge eco fueling the power of your elephants. Looking at their siege, let me just double check to see if they get siege engineers. I think they do. Yes, they do. So, again, we'll have to see how the siege elephants compare to rams, but assuming that they're more or less analogous, we'll have siege rams, I guess. Onagers, heavy scorpions, no bombard cannon. This is not a gunpowder civilization. Blacksmith, we already went over. Their navy, it's like the Malay, it's like the Italians. You got everything except heavy demo ship, and the Japanese. So, again, this is going to be a good water civ. It's going to be probably around top 10-ish. But I don't think we're going to be seeing anybody replacing Italians or Vikings here, at least not with this civilization. We'll have to see more later. University, you got everybody except Bombard Tower, so your defenses are pretty good. You don't get hoardings, so your castles are not as strong, but your Rathas, we have to imagine this is going to be a fast, potentially ranged unique unit, so it's going to be amazing. This is going to be an amazing unit. I cannot see a world where this is not a top tier unit. Any sort of fast, ranged, unique unit is going to be good. Your monks are also really good. You don't have heresy, you are an elephant civ, but you got everybody else, so your monk rush potential is going to be good. And then for your eco upgrades, nothing too crazy. You don't get stone shaft mining. Who cares about that? You get crop rotation. So this is a civ that is going to thrive on closed maps, I feel. But they're not going to be bad on open maps. You get your extra villagers, your elephants are going to be much more viable. It'll be interesting to see how viable elephant archers are, on something like Arabia. But when you're looking at Arena, you've got good monks. You can just go for your scout opening and then just the power of elephants in the late game. Very much, you have your elephant army in front, and then maybe you have supported behind by either elephant archers or your Rathas in the late game. it's going to be really insane. This is going to be a closed map Civ powerhouse. Not going to be, I think, quite as strong on Arabia, but still viable, which is important. And then on water maps, they're going to be, I think, good, but not like top tier. But this is a very interesting Civ for me, and one that I think it'll be able to sort of like slot into the existing AOE2 Civs pretty comfortably. I don't think that it's not like a Civ that feels too gimmicky. Like, yeah, having the unique unit that can switch between melee and ranged units, like that's about as gimmicky as it gets. But this is, I think, just going to be a strong, boomy, big chonker unit civilization. So that's going to be the Bengalis for you guys. So our next civilization is going to be the Dravidians. This is going to be South India, whereas Bengalis are obviously northeastern India. So, seize control of the lucrative Indian Ocean trade routes and utilize advanced metallurgy as you build one of the wealthiest sea empires of medieval Asia. The Dravidian unique units are the Urumi Swordsman, a sea... That is definitely not... Oh boy, editing. The Dravidian unique units are the Urumi Swordsman, a warrior wielding a scathing, flexible sword, and the Thirisadai, oh boy, a massive vessel that dominates the high seas. No space. The Dravidians focus on infantry and naval units. Cheaper barracks techs, a strong tech tree, the devastating Urumi Swordsman unique unit, and the unique tech Root Steel, which causes infantry and cavalry attacks to ignore the armor of enemy units. That is really, really good. And you have increased carry capacity for fishing ships and fishermen, and docks providing additional pop space. Dravidians are also quite versatile. You get 200 wood when advancing to the next age, and your skirmishers and elephant archers fire faster, and you have elephant units getting their HP regenerated. So let's take a look at this tech tree. Man, this is exciting, guys. So, Dravidians, infantry and naval civilization. We kind of just went over it now, but to put it more plainly, receive 200 wood when advancing to the next stage. Fishermen and fishing ships carry plus 15. This is actually a really big boost to fishing ships because they don't have to sail back and forth as often, and it's going to make them better in those situations where the fish are further away from the docks. Barracks tax cost minus 50%, so just good. Let's get that halb upgrade for 150 food and 300 gold, shall we? And then skirmishers and elephant archers attack 25% faster. A little bit of crossover between like that and the Bengalis with their unique tech, but here you can see it's much more focused in that you also have access to thumb ring, so you're getting some speedy attack and Ellie archers. Unique units, you have the Urumi Swordsman and the Thirisadai. The Urumi, I'm not too sure how this is going to work out just yet. It's not like I can hover over it and like get a bunch of stats for you guys. So we'll have to see how they function as far as gameplay goes. But it's a cool idea. They existed in AOE3. And the Thirisadai looks like it's going to be just a big chonker warship similar to the turtle ship, but it's only available in the Imperial Age. So it's an even more chonker ship. The unique text medical core, not medical corpse. Elephant units regenerate 20 HP per minute. This is the same as the pole HP regeneration bonus in the Imperial Age. So it's not going to be like, oh, wow, you can't damage the units. But, I mean, it's a nice boost to your elephants. Again, we have the elephant archer, the battle elephant, and the armored elephant. And then Woot Steel turns your infantry and cavalry into Latus, essentially, making them really, really powerful, just getting all of that extra attack especially against units that have high armor. And then docks provide +5 pop room, solid team bonus for water maps. This is going to be a civ that's going to be like a top water civ. You get an eco bonus with your fishing ships. You get 200 wood when advancing to the next age. That's like a free dock and then some. You can easily get your fishing ships going. You can maybe even plop down a blacksmith to get a quick fletching upgrade. I mean, it's just such a powerful bonus. But let's look at their sort of land tech tree. Of course, and then on land, getting 200 wood is still really good. You get, an archery range plus an archer. And whatever else you want, you have strong skirmishers to accompany your strong infantry, which I think is really interesting. You have fully upgraded arbalests, you have really, really good elephant archers, and you even have hand cannoneers to complement, your super strong skirmishers. So your ranged options, like a lot of other infantry civs like Japanese, you have great archers as well as great infantry. And of course, your barracks tech tree is full, except for Eagle Warriors. That is not too surprising. Again, you get your barracks techs at half cost. Stable is going to be quite sad. It is actually the saddest stable of any civ that actually gets a stable. You have light cav and non-elite battle elephants. And that's it. No bloodlines, no husbandry, no knights, no camels. Oh my goodness. So the whole infantry and cavalry attacks ignore armor. It's like, oh wow. Yeah, elephants. You have so many elephant bonuses. Really, when we're talking elephants, it's going to be the super strong elephant archers, and then probably the siege elephants as well. Also, you're missing plate barding armor just to rub more salt in the wound. Sure, you guys can see that. I've probably been blocking it with my stuff with my face this whole time, but oh well. But you have all of the other barracks techs, so this is going to be a civ that's definitely focused on the infantry and archers side of things. And then siege looking, I think, exactly the same. Oh, no, you have siege onagers. So this is an SO civ. No bombard cannons, but you do have SOs. And I guess siege rams, the equivalent of it. So we're looking at good siege, good infantry, good archers. Naval tech tree, look how pretty and beautiful that is. You have fully upgraded galleons, fully upgraded demo ships, fully upgraded fire ships, cannon galleons, and then your Theosadai unique unit, as well as dry dock and shipwright. And bracer, of course. So all of that, super good. University, not nearly as pretty. You are missing siege engineers, so that does put a bit of a damper in your siege tech tree. Architecture, treadmill crane, I mean, you'd rather have those than not have them, but it's not the biggest deal in the world. This is a bombard tower civilization, so you know I'm going to love it. You got your Urumi swordsmen, you got hoardings. Your monks, you don't get heresy because elephants, no redemption, no fervor, no illumination. It's not a great monastery tech tree, but And then you actually get neither of the shaft mining upgrades. This is a first for a civilization. Well, I mean, Japanese used to have that way back in the day, but they've had gold shaft mining for a long time. So yeah, no shaft mining upgrades. That is going to shaft your eco to some degree, as well as the no crop rotation thing. So your eco situation, it's not like it's amazing, but it's still pretty good. It's getting that extra 200 wood as soon as you hit the next stage is going to be really powerful. Having strong archers, having just that great naval potential. This is a civ that is going to be, I think, up there when it comes to water maps. You don't have a military bonus for your ships, but you do have that unique late game ship, so you're able to keep up in that regard, as well as the full dock tech tree, and then the extra 200 wood when advancing to the next age and the better fishing ships, like that is just going to help, I think, propel you to an early water lead, and then get you, late game, you can just blow stuff up with your Theosadai. I'm going to pronounce that differently every single time. On Arabia, still going to be, I think, a decent civilization, but probably not quite top tier. Just having that severe lack of mobility is going to be an issue. I mean, it's like you might as well not have a stable. I mean, yes, you do have a stable, but it's not going to be a very good stable. You're going to need to focus much more on that archer and infantry line of play. Your boom, it's going to be like okay, but not amazing. And we'll just have to see how good your skirms and halibs are going to be able to keep up in the late game. Going to be, I think, somewhat similar to Malay, which I guess kind of makes sense with Dravidians and connection to Indonesia, but going to be, I think, a bit similar than that. They're going to be probably stronger than Malay. I mean, you still have fully upgraded arbalests, hand cannons, thumb ring, plus speedy attacking elephant archers, good skirmishers. Like it's going to be a good civ, but I don't think it's going to be one that's going to be eclipsing like the top tier. And then for closed maps, going fast castle, getting extra 400 wood is pretty sick for dropping extra TCs. Not having good cavalry on closed maps is like, that's forgivable. You're probably going to be really reliant on your strong elephant archers. And remember, they are super strong elephant archers, but they don't get bloodlines or husbandry. So they're going to be slow, and they're not going to have as much HP. And they don't get Parthian tactics either. So they're good, but they are not without flaws. But they're still probably going to be the core of your late game. And then you do have your SOs potentially, but no bombard cannons could be kind of tricky. And I think that actually does make them worse than melee in that regard. I think they're going to be all right, but maybe not amazing. But still going to be top tier water, solid on open maps. They're still going to be solid on closed maps. Oh yeah, I guess I should have mentioned team games. This is going to be a flank civ and team game, obviously, and Bengalis would be a pocket civ, by the way. Again, that's pretty straightforward, but yeah. The issue with Bengalis, though, as a pocket civ, is that you don't have knights. So they're probably going to be more like the fast castle unique unit sort of thing to go for your chariots. And then maybe transition to your elephants afterwards. But this is going to be Dravidians, guys. Again, it's a really good, I think, interesting civilization that sort of slots itself into the AOE2 roster quite nicely. Neither of the civs so far feel like they're, a Sicilians or Burgundians at launch. Now, last but not least for the totally new civs, we have the Gurjaras. Ride swift mounts across the fertile fields and open plains of western India and unleash diverse armies of sturdy warriors upon your enemies. The Gurjara unique units are the Shrivamsha Rider, oh boy, a speedy cav unit that can dodge enemy attacks, and the Chakram Thrower, an infantry unit that unleashes volleys of deadly metal discs. These guys were in AoE 3 as well. The Gurjaras also begin the game with a camel scout instead of a scout cavalry and can train more camel scouts starting in the feudal age. No space. The Gurjaras focus on cavalry and camelry. Their mounted units deal additional bonus damage against the enemy units that they counter, while their camelry and elephants and those of their teammates also train faster. Gurjara cavalry also benefit from additional armor once the need tech frontier guards is researched. You have useful eco bonuses. You begin the game with 2 additional forage bushes near your town center, and they can garrison livestock instead of mills to slowly but infinitely generate food instead of slaughtering them with villagers. Gurjara docks can be garrisoned by fishing ships. Oh, that's actually kind of cool. So you can save your fishy fish that way. And Kshatriyas reduces the food cost of all military units. That's just going to be good. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at this in their tech tree. All right, so we have the Gurjaras, cavalry and camel civilization. Start the game with 2 forage bushes. So this is just going to be an extra 250 food. Good stuff. Kind of like the Inca bonus, but better with their free llama. Can garrison mills with livestock to produce food. This is a pretty interesting concept. I assume you can still, take your sheepers and stuff as normal. I don't know if you have to garrison them, but this is just going to be a matter of how much food do those garrisoned sheep and stuff produce, and how good is that relative to just gathering from them like normal. So that's going to be something that the benefit is going to need a fair amount of playtesting. Mounted units deal plus 50% bonus damage. So that should apply to your elephant archers and should apply to your camels. So your camels are going to be even better against cavalry. I don't know if the Shrivamsha Rider, elite needs a space there. I don't know if that guy has bonus damage. But they are going to be essentially your knight line replacement. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Kshatriya's military units cost minus 25% food. That's good if you're making elephant archers. That's good if you're making all your cavalry here. And it's going to be especially useful for your hussars, because that just means hussars are 25% cheaper. That makes them even cheaper than Berbers, who are even cheaper than Magyars. And then frontier guards, camel archers, that's Berbers. Camel riders and elephant archers plus 4 melee armor. Man, these are going to be some good heavy camels. They get extra bonus damage, they're cheaper on the food cost, and they get extra melee armor. And also that applies to your Ellie archers. So that's going to be quite good. And then camel and elephant units are trained at 25% faster. Good stuff. So I imagine this is a civ with a pretty good eco. The fishing ship bonus does feel like a little bit out of place because they don't have anything else really to help them on water. Let me just double check their blacksmith. So no blast furnace and no ring archer armor. So that is kind of the downside to your your Hussars, your Shrivamsha Riders, and your Heavy Camels is you don't get Blast Furnace. So Ring Archer armor means that your skirmishers are going to be a little bit lacking. No Parthian tactics means that your elephant archers are going to be, they can train faster and they get extra melee armor, but they are a little bit weaker in the ranged armor department. And you also get extra bonus damage, so I guess that negates the Parthian tactics thing. Hand Cannoneer is still available to you, so that's something. Oh my god, this is a civ that doesn't have pikemen. Yeah, guys, Turks are no longer all by themselves, and in fact, Turks get better pikemen because these are spearmen that don't get Blast Furnace and they don't get squires. Holy crap, does this civ have bad infantry. Yeah. Oh my goodness. So you've got great camels. Great camels. You are also totally reliant on them. They're cheaper in food, but not cheaper in gold. So, and you start the game with the Camel Scout. So, does this guy get bonus damage against other Scout Cavalry? Do they easily beat Scout Cavalry in a one-on-one fight? I don't know. We'll have to see. There's going to be lots of testing. And then the Shrivamsha Rider, also, again, going to be something that we're just going to need to see in testing exactly how good they are, how they differ from Knights. My understanding is they're going to be faster. They can dodge the attacks, but they're probably going to be less attack and less armored. And then they also have their infantry unique unit, which I think is kind of interesting because the rest of their infantry is terrible. It's going to be a ranged infantry unique unit like throwing axemen, I guess, throwing their sharp discs. But again, we'll have to see exactly how they work in testing. Your siege workshop, you got your siege elephants again. You have onagers, heavy scorpions. These guys do have bombard cannons, and siege engineers is not available to them. So siege, it's all right. Blacksmith, not that amazing. On water, they have shipwright, no elite cannon galleon, dry dock, fast fire ship. You can garrison your fishing ships, which might make them okay on hybrid maps, but this is not something you want to play on full water maps. Your defenses, no siege engineers, like I said, no bombard tower or arrow slits, but you have keeps, fortified walls. I mean, it's pretty average. Have hoardings, which is nice. You do have heresy, so that's something. You do get your. I forgot to mention these guys don't get battle elephants. No elephants for these guys. They're focused more on the camels and Shrivamsha riders. You have elephant archers, which is where the elephants trained faster comes from, but no battle elephants. I should have mentioned that. So there is definitely a big difference between the Gurjaras and the other new civilizations. But they do have heresy for your elephant archers, potentially. Otherwise, your monks, you get redemption, sanctity, fervor, no block printing, no faith. Not that great in the late game, but they're serviceable enough in Castle Age. And then your ecotex, no guilds, no two-man saw, you got everything else. That isn't too big of a deal. So Gurjaras, depending on how the eco bonuses work, this should be a pretty darn good civ for open maps. Having access to camel scouts in feudal age is certainly going to be interesting. You can see that it is a sort of prerequisite to the Castle Age camels, so they're going to cost probably the 55 food, 60 gold that regular camels cost, so there would be a very expensive feudal age unit. But again, we'll see how they perform. Your archers are going to be decent enough early on, but this is going to be a very cavalry-centric civilization, and I am a little worried that they're just going to run into a brick wall against, strong halb civs. I mean, you do have elephant archers and whatnot, hand cannons, but, good halb SO civs. A civ like Teutons, I feel like could be giving these guys a bit of issues. You do get your extra melee armor for camels, but that doesn't really help you against halbs. Their siege, it's kind of eh. I mean, this is a civ that's not, I think, going to be that great on closed maps, simply because you want to have that mobility. Open maps, I think they could be pretty good. I mean, you have lots of strong cav potential. Team games, obviously, they're going to be a pocket civ, they're a cav civ. And water maps are going to be kind of okay on. I guess we'll have to see how the Chakram throwers perform, especially because they aren't getting Blast Furnace, and they don't get Squires. So Gurjaras, I definitely have a bit more of a question mark over compared to the other two new civilizations, but they still have potential, and I don't think they're going to be, too out there. Again, garrisoning the mills with livestock, we'll just have to see how good that is, essentially. And that's also something that can be adjusted pretty easily by the devs. If it's like too good or too weak, you can just adjust the numbers as far as that goes. But yeah, they're a civ that I'm not too sure where they're going to fit in just yet, but they're going to be very interesting. They just have a lot of unique units, right? So it's kind of hard to say without actually testing them. All right, we have our new campaigns. So we have Babur, so the beginning of the Mughals, plays the Tatars and the Hindustanis. I wonder if maybe they're redoing Prithviraj to be the Gurjaras. Kind of interesting that we have the old Indians who are now Hindustanis, which I'll get to them in just a little bit, guys. And then Tatars as well. So we'll have to see how that goes. I mean, super important historical figure, but we'll just have to see how that goes as far as an AOE2 campaign goes. Rajendra is going to be the Chola Dravidians, so that is going to be fun. And Devapala was going to be the Bengalis. Get a bunch of new achievables. And then we have the Hindustanis. Now, this is the civ that was Indians. They are getting several changes, though, so I would say that it's half of a new civ. And notably, guys, you do not need to purchase the DLC to play the Hindustanis. So they are a civ that they just exist in the game, and they're just going to be the reworked Indians. So let's just dive right into the tech tree here because it is getting a little bit reworked. So Hindustanis, they get a nice, cool, new little emblem. Camel and gunpowder civilization, just like before. You have your cheaper villagers, just like before. But now you get camel riders attack 25% faster instead of having the extra pierce armor thing. So that is definitely nice. You got your imp camels as usual, but now you have plate barding armor back. Oh my goodness. Yes, yes, yes. You have really good camels now. Camels and light cav now get extra attack versus buildings, but it's not as much. Good stuff. Gunpowder units get extra armor. That's going to be really, really nice for bombard cannons. No elephant archers anymore, ironically. And no Parthian tactics, so you don't get fully upgraded cav archers anymore. So they're going to be more focused on the camels and on the gunpowder. But you do have ring archer armor, so your hand cannons are going to be pretty well armored, and Chattagni now gives 2 range. Also, Grand Trunk Road is the same as Sultan's, it's just renamed. And you can build the Caravanserai in the Imperial Age, which, yeah, there it is. And that is going to improve your trade units. Also, I have no idea what the Ghulam does. I guess we can just go back and read. And a building that heals and increases the speed of trade units within its vicinity. So you could just, I guess, be plopping these guys down left and right on your trade routes just to heal them and help of raids, and then it, speeds them up as well. Ooh, I wonder what this is going to be next to a Berber trade cog. Can we make Berber trade cogs even faster? That'd be pretty wild. And the Ghulam is a heavily armored infantry unit adept against masses of archers. So that's kind of interesting. So yeah, that's going to be the new Indians. And I think that they're just kind of a more polished version of the existing Indians. Oh, Hindustani unique unit that thrusts its spear through multiple targets. Ooh, that's cool. So it's like a mini scorpion. Weak versus cavalry. Oh, does this say what the, yeah, Gurjara unique unit with ranged melee attack, strong versus infantry, weak versus archers and siege weapons. So it's kind of like a throwing axeman, which can charge its attack. So it's kind of like a Goustier. And then, yeah, can switch between melee and ranged attacks. So, guys, that is going to be the Princes of India expansion, or Dynasties of India. Wow. What an expansion this is going to be, guys. Let me know in the comments, what are you the most excited for? Because there is a lot to be excited about. There's so much new stuff here. This is way, way, way more content than, Lords of the West and Dawn of the Dukes. I mean, this is, like I said, 3.5 new civilizations, and these civilizations are just very unique. They have 2 regional units, and I'm just really excited to see how they're going to play out. So yeah, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Leave a like if you enjoyed and are excited. Subscribe to the channel. There's going to be tons of Dynasties of India content coming your way. So see you guys next time.